your movement, then I got to tell you, you have got to get your personal brand in order. And today we have my awesome new friend, Mark Lack, is going to be here to show you exactly what it even means to have a personal brand, why it's so important to actually nail down that personal brand, and how to make it easy so that you can create an awesome personal brand that attracts people who actually want to throw credit cards at your face. So before that, we're going to play our little intro video and the party is getting started. If you would like to be reminded next time we are live, make sure you give us the word, all one word, remind me below this video. My name is Molly Mahoney. We will be getting started in about 1 minute. See you there. Are you dancing? I hope you're dancing because this is going to be so much fun today. So if we've never met before, my name is Molly Mahoney. This is Camera Confidence Live. We are here on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. And our show today is brought to you by the amazing B.Live, who makes this whole thing possible. You can put in intro videos. You can even do crazy things like this. I can write on the bottom of the screen, I can say, give me the word, all one word, remind me. Watch this, remind me, for access to reminders, show notes, and more. Watch. On the fly. It's so easy. Ready? Whoa. And all you have to do is say, remind me below this video. We will send you a message right away, letting you get access to reminders when we're live, in case we mix up our schedule a little bit. Show notes from today, because I know Mark has so much information that he's going to share with us, and some other things that you may see hiding in there. So with no further ado, I am so thrilled to be able to dive into this topic because it is something that I am obsessed with. And I have to say that when I was introduced to Mark by my good friend, Elliot, Elliot is the CMO at Ryan Levesque's team. Ryan was like, you've got it, or Ryan said this too, but Elliot said, you've got to meet Mark. And when I met him, I was like, whoa, you really know what you're doing. So here we go. He is coming up. I want you to put your hands together for the amazing Mark Lack. What? Maybe. There you are. Hooray.
Great to be here. Great to be here.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. So I know you've got a couple of things that you can drop in your bio of things that will show them all stars that are here today, exactly why we should even listen to you when it comes to this personal brand thing. So can you just share a little bit about your experience and what you're doing in the world with personal branding?
Definitely. Love your energy. And I love the name Mall Stars. That's classic.
We voted on it as a group, actually.
That's solid.
And
I like
that's
that.
something we could talk about because I felt a little bit uncomfortable using part of my name as part of the community name. I guess that ties into personal branding, and that's what was voted on. And we can sing now. Hey, now you're a Mall Star.
I love it. You've got it. You're checking all the things like Justin Bieber's, you know.
Oh, but right. See, there you go.
I gotta come up with one for myself. I'm not sure what it would be. We'll work on it together.
What is it? We could work on it today. We could workshop it.
I make the joke because my name's Mark Lack, so I say, is your marketing lacking?
Lacking? Oh, that's good too.
We're working on it. We're working on it. You want me to give a quick? You want me to give a quick little bio?
Yeah, give a quick little bio. And for those of you that are here, let us know: are you watching on YouTube? Are you watching on Facebook, on my personal profile, my personal business page is what I meant to say? Or are you watching on the B-Livers page? Because there's B-Livers too, kind of like the Beliebers or whatever. Right? So good. So let us know where you're watching. And yeah, tell us what you got, Mark. Give us the little spiel. Shoot.
I was saying, am I muted?
Yeah, it looked like I had you muted. So muted. Okay. Hopefully We can hear you now.
So you could hear me, but I don't think they could.
I could hear you, but yeah, we'll see. I had muted you
Okay.
earlier when I had the intro video playing and forgot to click
somehow
unmute.
you could hear me, but they couldn't. So I don't know. Well, they missed our fun little banter.
You could read lips, and now Mark has a voice, which is great.
They saw us just laughing and smiling, and they missed all of it. So
basically, Mark said we're checking all of the boxes. He loves the term mall stars, and that. And you can tell your marketing joke again in case we missed it.
No, it's all right. We'll leave that as a secret between us.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll fly through some bullet points of my bio, and then we'll get into the training. So I'm trying to think of where I'll start. I'll just go through my traditional bio. Didn't do well in school, failed, was labeled stupid and a failure early on in my life, and that translated throughout all the way until college. Weirdly got into a sport called paintball. If you guys are familiar with paintball, where you shoot each other. For some reason, that was the one sport that resonated with me. I don't know why. But like most things in life, when you're passionate, when you commit, when you go all in, you can do amazing things. And that's what happened with me in paintball. I became one of the top 10 players in the world. I made over $300,000 in high school and traveled 250,000 miles around the world. Amsterdam, London, Belgium, Germany, Paris, Canada, 42 out of 50 states in America. And, it taught me what it took to become a professional. Even though it was a weird little sport, I was one of the best in the entire world. I made a lot of money doing it, at least for a high school kid making $300,000. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's okay. From paintballing also, which shows that if you really lean into your passions, right, then there's a way that you can hit success literally doing anything if you can do it with paintball, which I think is so awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that led me down the path of having this weird conflict where it was like, okay, I'm the stupid kid in school who fails and can't do anything right, and nobody wants to be on class projects with me because I'm the dumb kid. And then on the other side, I'm the best in the world at paintball, and I'm making six figures and traveling all over the world. When most kids have, they're not traveling the world and they're not making six figures. So Saturday and Sunday, I was like a rock star, and Monday through Friday, I was the stupid kid who hated school. It just fueled my hate for school.
Yeah.
And so I had this weird inner conflict, and I was like, I need to overcome this somehow. So luckily I have the internet. So I started searching online, like, how do I become successful? And, when you search those things long enough, you find Tony Robbins, and, it's like you find Jesus. And for me, Tony Robbins was that person where the student was ready and the master appeared. And Tony Robbins was the first spark that kind of lit the fire inside of me. It led me to hundreds of other mentors. For anybody who's watching and not listening, you can see I've got tons of books behind me. I went from being the uneducated kid to being the most educated. And I will say though, I'm terrible at a lot of things. And the good news is you only have to be really good at one thing or two things to be successful in life. And so for me, I'm definitely one of the best salespeople and marketers, which I've twisted into personal branding. And that's why personal branding makes so much money, because we integrate sales and marketing practices into it. But yeah, it led me down this crazy journey of like self-mastery and personal development and sales and marketing. And I just was like, okay, if I'm going to be the best version of myself, I still want to make a lot of money to prove to everybody, because that's how it starts, right? When you're young and dumb, you're like, I want to prove to everybody that I can be successful. And so it started wanting to prove everybody that I could be successul. And then obviously on your journey of maturing, that changes, and your vision changes, and your motivation changes. But yeah, so, I found these guys making money online and these women making money online, and was like, that's what I want to do. I want to figure out if this is real. By the way, I was like, if it's real, because, it was really like 10 years ago that I was like, if you can really, the internet and social media and marketing was a little bit early 10 years ago, like back.
Yeah, even 5 years ago, there were still people. I mean, I remember when I first pivoted into this, I had a friend who was like, wait, how do you have the credentials to do that?
Exactly. Right. It's like,
there's a lot of skepticism about it for sure.
Social media was so early 10 years ago. I don't even think some of the big platforms out there like Instagram and YouTube and Facebook even existed. And if they did, they were in their super early stages. So, I saw these people making money and running ads and show, the cliche examples of showing off their money in the Lamborghini or the yacht or whatever. Yeah. But as a young person, I'm like, I want that. And so I was like, let me see if this is real. And so I went and studied everybody's program, everybody's course, everybody's workshop, mastermind, seminar, conference. I bought all of it because I had the money from paintball.
Yeah.
And because I was too stupid to get into a college because of my grades. I couldn't get into a university, so I had to go to a junior college, which was extremely cheap. So I had money saved up for real college, which I didn't go to.
There's like so many tangents we could take with all of this because
So
I
many.
have so many things that you've said. We could do like 4 more videos. So keep going because I love this.
And so I had money saved up, and my parents were like, you know, you're going to invest it in these random people on the internet with courses and seminars. and so, you know, they thought I was kind of crazy, but they supported me because they thought I was crazy for paintball, but I became one of the best in the world at it. And I won the largest prize ever in the history of paintball, which was $160,000 in a single day.
It's kind of like video games now. I went to TwitchCon and one of the team members from Be Live just like randomly entered a pro-am video game competition thing.
Yeah.
And his character in the video game got killed in like the first 3 minutes, but he was paired up with somebody who was a pro and he got carried literally through the whole entire game and won $30,000. And he came back to us at the lunch table and was like, oh my gosh, I just paid off my student loans, which brings us back to that college thing too, right? It's like sometimes people get worried about investing in courses that'll help them to build their business. And really comparatively to how much people invest into a university, it's such a crazy juxtaposition. So I love it.
I had a parent ask me recently, you know, what should I do for my son? He's 21 years old. He doesn't want to go to school. The pandemic has changed things. So he has space to kind of figure out what he wants to do. And I said, what do you have? 50 grand saved up for college, 100 grand saved up for college, or what are you willing to go into debt for if you don't have the money? And so I said, just use half of that and go and buy everybody's program on the internet that I could suggest. E-commerce, Shopify, personal branding, affiliate marketing, how to leverage social media, all of them. And then you'll figure out, like, you'll learn the foundation of everything on the internet and of like how to make money. And then you'll figure out what you're passionate about and you can go all in on that. And who knows, just maybe
just like a little buffet, take a little bit from all of them and then figure out what to go all in on.
That's it. And so that was my advice. So hopefully they do. Cause I mean, it worked for me, right? I made millions of dollars in my 20s. And now I'm 30. And so, you know, I'm on a different journey now, but that's my advice is for parents out there who have kids, like, this college system, I mean, it didn't work for me and my friends. I hired a lot of my friends, ironically. My friends paid all this money. Their parents went into all this debt for them to go to college. And now they work for me at my company. And I was the dumb kid. It's just funny.
Such an awesome journey too. And I'm excited about several of the things that you just shared. Honestly, we've been talking a little bit over on Clubhouse and a couple of rooms that we've had, and also here in our Camera Confidence program. One thing that I was hoping we could talk about, you actually already mentioned. So what I want to make sure we get to next, but I'm going to ask you a little question first. But what I want to make sure we get to is what even is personal branding? Why should we, you know, care about it? And how can we streamline it is what I would love to talk about today. Because I think a lot of people feel like they have to create this, you know, this fake thing of who they are and bring that to the forefront as this like lovely sparkly water bottle that they've created. But what we really focus on here, and I think you can help us with this, put it all together, is making sure that you're really honoring who you are as a human. So, and honoring the humans that you serve. So with that in mind, I love that you brought up the Lamborghini marketing.
We all know those people.
Right. But I think it's something that, like you said, it resonates with some people. Like you as a young kid, that was something that really spoke to you. And we had a conversation on Clubhouse with Kim Garst about this the other day. And I personally, just to like be really real, I personally don't like the term bro marketing that people will use sometimes because I have 2 boys. And I think that I love that you've already mentioned, like, you know, you brought courses from women too. So I'm really big about how we can all have a voice. And sometimes I think the Lamborghini marketing stuff gets my community a little riled up because it's like, it can just feel a little inauthentic.
It's played out now and less people are doing it. Because if anything, it attracts more hate than it does positivity. And so I think the good news is for people who don't like that type of marketing, I think it's going away. It's fading down.
And I think the pandemic actually had something to do that. I remember I mentioned Ryan and Elliot today, which is how we connected. And I remember talking to Ryan about his last launch last year and how they had to reshoot everything so that it was more, it wasn't quite as polished. It was showing more of what was happening in real life.
He did like the whole thing on an iPad.
Yeah. Well, and totally. Right. And I also will just say, many of you know that I have $1,000 pair of pants that I am obsessed with, that I was afraid to admit that I spent $1,000 on a pair of pants, but I now wear those sparkly pants as much as I can. So that's like my version of Lamborghini marketing. And I'm very proud of those pants. And I think that it's great for us to just talk about that when it comes to building your personal brand, because I know that it's something, especially in our community, that we struggle with, that balance between being real, owning your $1,000 pair of pants, right? Or whatever it is for you that you're proud of and you want to share, and making sure that there's also a human connection too. So
I love that. So there was a lot on the table there with the first questions. I'll start with the first one, which was like, what is personal branding?
Okay, perfect. We can just go right to that now. We got the other stuff out of the way.
We'll go to that one first. So what is personal branding? In my own words, personal branding is your reputation, and it's how people perceive you. And so, for example, if you hit me up in my inbox on email and you don't have a very good email signature, my email signature is going to be this professional photo shoot circle of my face, so you can see me smiling. So you know I'm a real human. It's going to have my name, my bio, my link to my website, which I spent tens of thousands of dollars on, so it looks amazing. It's going to have links to my social media, which if you go to, I'm verified and I have hundreds of thousands of followers on my different channels.
Or you even have a social media account there, because sometimes I click on people's things and it's like a broken link, or it goes to an old website, right?
Yep. And so obviously, I didn't have those things when I started. But I build into it. And so there is no excuse like, oh, well, you have those things because. No. You can go to wisestamp.com. And for like $10, you can go and get these templates that they'll give you to plug into your email signature in system preferences, signature, and you copy and paste their template in there. And now you have this amazing looking signature. Something as simple as that, when you email somebody, you're going to be so much more well received. If you reached out to me, for example, and this is what I'm trying to make my point of, I get hundreds of emails and social media messages every week, hundreds of emails and social media messages. Most of the emails don't have a good signature. So immediately, the only thing I can do is go and click on their name. And if it's from a Yahoo, AOL, or Gmail account, I have to assume you're not a serious business, because only serious businesses say mark@shortenthegap.com, not mark@gmail.com. And so you get a real email account with your company's website, have an email signature, because when you don't have those things, it's the first indicator to me you're not serious. When you hit me up on social media, I immediately, before I even respond to you, I take 1 second, I click your face or your name, and it takes me to your profile, and I see that you have no content you've posted. Maybe you shared some political article onto your page, or posted about pizza, or posted some GIF,
or maybe about Brussels sprouts.
Exactly. Maybe you posted something about your bacon Brussels sprouts that you had for dinner. And so, and you have like 0 followers. You have like no bio in your social media. And these are all like little tiny things that you might be thinking aren't a big deal. But if you're trying to reach out to me to buy from you, I'm using all of these filters of qualification.
Yeah.
I'm like, like if I, for example, was going to go and try to sell somebody financial advice, I wouldn't be wearing a hoodie. I'd put on a suit, because it's these little subtle cues that we pick up on. People use social media. They use your website. They use simple things like your email signature to judge and filter and discern, is this person qualified, credible, trustworthy to even have a conversation with? And so that's just one tiny example of how somebody is going to, just like if I was like going to a lunch meeting and you're like, oh yeah, your financial advisor's over there, and it was like me in a hoodie, unless you knew I was like a billionaire, you'd probably be like, He's in a hoodie. He's not in a suit. Financial advisor, suit,
Or,
hoodie.
what's interesting, it could actually, it's going to detract a lot of people, but maybe if you establish your personal brand as
That's
the
the point,
financial
though.
advisor with the hoodie,
That's the
that,
point, right? Is
yeah,
if you don't yet have your personal brand leveraged, like Gary Vaynerchuk is in a beanie and a t-shirt, but
exactly.
he's established. If he
Yeah.
started that way early on, which he did, by the way, but like he had to go like 12 years to build his brand to what it is. And he started in the wine library business. So my ultimate point is it's your reputation. It's how people judge you, discern and filter through all these little things. The human brain's job is to immediately decide, can I trust this person? Is this person going to hurt me? Are they going to help me? And we're taught at a young age, don't trust people. Don't talk to strangers.
Stranger danger.
And guess what? The more successful you get, the more annoying people message you trying to get stuff from you. Instead of, I know you teach this to your audience, but it's
Totally.
like lead with value. Oh my gosh, the more successful you get, the less people lead with value because you're getting thousands of people hitting you up. So when the one person finally messages you and is like, hey, Mark or Molly, here's a ton of value first. I'm at least like, thank you. You didn't just hit me up randomly with no credibility, no introduction, no trust, no personal brand. You have no reputation in my eyes. I don't even know you. And you're asking me for something. And so personal branding is your ability to build your reputation, control the perception. That's a big one. Control the perception. So when somebody goes and looks you up, whether that's something as simple as your email signature, your social media, or your website, those are really the only three things you're going to do on the digital world we live in. You're going to email somebody, which is going to hopefully have your signature linked to your website and your social media. So people are going to go to your website, your social media. Here's the next one. They're going to Google you.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so guess what? That's going to show me your reputation. There might be people talking smack about you. There might be negative reviews about you. There might be tons of positive things about you. And so that is the foundational, simple aspect of personal branding. The new kid at school that everybody talks about. Hey, do you know who Molly is? Is she cool? Is she good? Is she nice? Is she bad? Is she this? Is she that? Like, that's your reputation. My reputation early on in school was the dumb, stupid kid. And so that was what people would say about me. It might be fun to hang out with me as a friend, but when it comes to school, you don't want to work with me. So you have to understand, you come up with these little labels and these reputations for people. And then all of a sudden it starts to spread around. Like you heard from Ryan and Elliot, Mark's amazing. You got to connect with him. And so and then if you looked me up, there's all these amazing things about me on the internet because I'm controlling my reputation, my brand, and how people perceive me. And that's the foundation of it. And then
you were like, who's this Molly chick? She's crazy.
Well, I already knew that. Because that's your brand and that's what you're going for. So
oh my gosh, I love it so much. Really. And it is controlling that perception. And what is tricky is that you have to decide on what that perception is going to be. And I think a lot of people don't take the time, whether it's building your business and like putting your offers together or deciding what product you're going to sell. They don't take the time to do those foundational pieces, which means that when you're putting things out there, if you don't even know what what perception you want to create, how do you expect anybody else to be able to understand it? So I love that you help people to actually get that in order and then know like the step by step of where to clean that up.
And, and those are literally that's kindergarten. We're not even in elementary school yet. We're just talking like personal branding to kindergartners right now. Just so everybody knows, like we go up the ladder to like extremely sophisticated personal branding strategies. But this is the kindergarten stuff. And then we can fly our way all the way up to doctorate school.
I love it. Okay, we do this thing here called a nugget giveaway. I flashed it on the screen a little bit earlier, but what we're going to do is right now, if you're watching this video, whether it's live or in the replay, I want you to give us the hashtag nugget below this video. Share what the best tip that you've learned so far is, the best nugget that you've heard so far. It could be something that was brand new, or it could be something that maybe you've heard before and you've been pushing off to the side and not really taking control of. So give us what that is below, and I'm going to pick a nugget winner while we're live. I'm also going to come back. I'm going to pick a nugget winner later this week also. So if you're watching in the replay, give us the nuggets. We want to know the nuggets in the chat below. There's so much about what you just said that we could dive into. I will say on your Facebook profile, like there's all the different platforms that you want to be optimized on, but just on your Facebook profile, in our camera confidence program, we actually do a weekly profile review because most people don't even know what's possible. And you're right. They may actually, what I've seen before is people have shared valuable business tips on their, or like, value, something that relates to their brand on their personal profile, but they have it set to private. So
Little things
nobody
like that.
knows
Yeah.
that it's there. So it's funny because Ryan, who does our reviews in our camera confidence program, he'll go to do the reviews and it looks totally different than what someone thinks it looks like because they have those value forward things set to private. So only their friends can see it. Even if you don't want to have a profile like mine or maybe like Mark's is where things are mostly open, you want to pick a few things that you intentionally use to control the perception so you can build your reputation. And one piece that people miss so often is the fact that you can link to your business page. I even have in my profile, I don't know if it's still there, but at one point it said fixer of broken links at brokenlink.com because people would link to that little weird Facebook flag. Do you know that gray flag?
Yeah.
And not realize it. So I have a question though. One of the first things that you said was when people go to your email signature, they can click, they can see that your profile is verified and they can see that you have hundreds of thousands of followers, which is awesome. And that may be something for our community that's a little like, okay, that's going to take me 12 years to get, or what do I do if I don't have 100,000 followers? So I know you have some tips if there are some people who are thinking, okay, but I don't have that many followers. How do I do this?
And first of all, followers are just like vanity metrics.
Exactly.
Followers matter to some degree because it goes back to the narrative I was saying earlier. It controls the perception. And, I like to play a little quiz with people just right off the bat. Who's more credible? The person with one post about their Brussels sprouts and their cat or their dog, and they have like 50 followers, or the person with a verified account, an amazing bio that shows credibility and adds one free nugget of value, like get my free book or get my free training or get my free thing. So leading with value. They're verified. They have 100,000 followers. They have 1,000 or at least 500 valuable pieces of content, both personal, so you can see me as a human, and then also professional, where you can see my expertise. And that's where the personal brand comes in. So it's not just professional brand. It's called a personal brand for a reason. And most people leave out the personal side. They're just like, I'm the real estate person. And so what you need to do is you need to be the real estate person who's also a mom, who's also got children, who's also got a husband, who's also traveling, who also is doing her best to stay healthy at home and take care of her kids. And so you're doing the personal side of being the real estate person and then teaching your expertise. And so balancing that on your profile where there's hundreds of posts, you can see me as a person. You can see my wife, my dog. You can see people in my business. You can see who I've interviewed. And then you can see my expertise being more professional and serious and helping you get 1 or 2 steps closer. That's what social media is supposed to do. It's supposed to build a relationship with your audience so they feel like they know you, even though they've never met you. And then it's supposed to show people your expertise. Not necessarily that you're truly doing everything right or perfect, but that you can get people 1 or 2 steps closer to their goal for free. And then if they want, they can buy from you, and that'll get them all the way to the finish line. That's personal branding in a nutshell with social media. You're building a relationship with an audience to build trust and rapport so they feel like they really know you, even though they've never met you. And they know your life. And then the professional side.
And they can relate to you also so that they know that it's not, I think that's a huge thing. And I will say for those of you that don't have a bajillion followers, sometimes for some people, when they're looking to connect with someone, they may actually feel like, whoa, that person is too fancy, too big. I want to learn from someone who's just a few steps ahead of me. So know that it may be a good thing for you as you're starting off to be able to connect with those people who really want to learn from someone who's just a few steps ahead of you. So don't let that hold you back, because once you get to the point where you have hundreds of thousands of followers, like that's amazing. And I think it's true. It really, I saw a science show that my kids were watching where they took the same photo and they showed it to people to get their response. And they had 2 photos. One had more likes and comments than the other, and to ask which one was funnier. Then they switched it. So the other one had more likes and comments than the other. And every time the people went with the one that had the more likes and comments. So social proof matters.
It was the perception.
Yeah, because of that perception, like exactly what you just said. So social proof matters. Those numbers, like you want to build your engagement. That's why we encourage people to create videos where they're commenting and engaging. And don't ever feel that you can't get started because you don't have these crazy enormous numbers at the beginning.
Exactly. You have to remember that it doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I wanted to say. Like the example is like we were talking about controlling the perception. And so are you gonna go eat at the restaurant that has 100 people in line, or are you gonna go eat at the restaurant that has nobody in line? And so the restaurant with 100 people in line, you're like, that must be good. The restaurant with nobody in line, you're thinking that must be bad. Purely a judgment. The only facts you have is a hypothesis about the social proof of how many likes and comments there are. Just like somebody comes to the conclusion that if I go to your social media and you have 0 engagement or very limited engagement, it would only make sense that in the same analogy as the restaurant, I could probably come to the conclusion that you must not have anything good to say, or what you are saying must not be very good because nobody's listening, nobody's liking, nobody's commenting. So even though it's a stretch, it's a logical stretch, the same way that the restaurant with nobody in line might actually be amazing, but nobody's giving it a chance because everybody's in the other line. And so that's what you have to understand. You have to break through the chasm. Is like, if you never get enough engagement and followers, then you're always going to have that potential perception that, well, what you're saying must not be funny, what you're saying must not be good, what you're saying must not be relevant or important, because if it was, you'd have more people here listening in line. And so that's why it is important, just from a pure perception judgment. Just like you just gave a perfect example of just purely by showing people the one with more engagement, everybody thought it was funnier. And it was like, same thing with you. If you don't have engagement, so then it goes to the next question. But Mark, how do I get the engagement? There's really 3 ways to get engagement. The same way that there's only 3 ways to get traffic. You buy it, you borrow it, you create it. Buy it, borrow it, create it. And so what that means is, to create it, you have to create amazing content, and you have to hope that the algorithms are in your favor and help your content get pushed out to more people. That's how the cute cat video that everybody sees and likes and comments goes viral, because it has a 99% share ratio. 99.
Mark, just so you know, our trick for that is not cats. It is actually Brussels sprouts. I've had 4 people send me this same dish towel in the mail that says "Every day I'm Brustlin," because
that's
if
awesome.
You post on your personal profile Brussels sprouts, yes or no, I promise you it will kickstart your engagement.
Brustlin, every day I'm Brustlin. That's
every
awesome.
day I'm Brustlin.
You guys have too much fun here in your community. I'll tell you that.
We really do.
So, number 1, create content. Every day you're Brustlin, and you hope that, and I hate to use that word, but it's the truth. You hope that the algorithm helps you go viral. And that's why I think
you can be strategic in that too, right? So there's ways, but it's always an art. So it's always like, we have some killer strategies that help you to work with the algorithm, but who knows when the algorithm's going to change tomorrow and you're going to have to scramble.
Which is why
they're going to remove the likes, all of that. It's crazy.
Out of the 3 ways to get engagement or traffic, buy it, borrow it, create it. I think, by the way, you have to do all 3. There's not a question. There's no question. It's just, you have to do all 3. But if I was going to say which one's most important, it's buying it and borrowing it. And buying it is probably the most important. So borrowing it would be interviews, co-creating content like we're doing here. You brought me in, so technically it's an interview. Technically we're co-creating content. I could even start sharing content with my audience, and all of a sudden my audience is like, who's Molly? And your audience is like, who's Mark? And now we're gonna give each other's audience. And so together we're sharing each other's audiences with each other's knowledge and expertise. So that's a great way to do it. I suggest everybody does that around the clock, around the calendar.
As a reminder also for everyone who's here, which, by the way, Erica Sanchez is here, and she just won $100 in camera confidence. So we did it. Actually, this is a perfect example. So we launched a brand new program. We took our camera confidence program, we moved it into Experientify, Marisa's dashboard, which has been awesome. But I wanted to make sure that everybody saw that we were moving it. So I bought it by offering a $100 Amazon gift card inside for our students to have them comment on the post in order for people to see it. So actually, I went with the buy it option for that. And Erica won this morning. So Erica, congratulations.
Congratulations.
But so what I was going to say though is, when you're creating a video like this, when you're borrowing it, like you said, we can now turn this into smaller pieces of content. So repurposing and all of that can come from this. And I can then send you the clips too, so that now you have that ability as well. So
exactly.
I would
And
always
so,
say that we're creating a library of content.
exactly. So we're borrowing each other's audiences, essentially. So the 3 ways to get traffic and build your audience is buy it, borrow it, create it. We talked about creating it. You talk about that all the time, it sounds like. Again, it's phenomenal. You have to do all 3. So it's not that one's better than the other. It's just that if I personally had to only choose one, it would be buying it, because buying it is I'm in control. If I know that every time I invest $1,000 in an ad and I make 2,000, again, elementary conceptual example, but if I spend 1,000 and I make 2,000, how many times would you trade $1 for 2 every day? And if you know that you can do that, you have what I would call the foundation to a real business, because now you have the opportunity to grow and control your scale. Where if I'm just using affiliates and I'm borrowing people's audiences, well, what if all of a sudden that person says no, that person changes their mind, that person didn't really pull through the way they said, that person at the last minute just something, they got sick and canceled, and I was really hoping that it worked out because I could pay my mortgage that month. So my point is, creating it, you're at the whim of the algorithm. Borrowing it, you're at the whim and hope of the person following through. And buying it is the only one where you're in the most control, but you have to do all 3. I create, I borrow, and I buy every single day, nonstop. And so those are the three ways that you could grow your audience. Buying it, by the way, obviously there's buying traffic for making money and selling products and services and building your list. And then there's faster ways to grow your audience. The 2 ways I would suggest would be boosting and promoting your content. So Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, the same way that they let you pay money to promote an advertisement, to build your list, a lead magnet, sell a product, you can promote your content, and it's called subscribe content. So you're promoting content and you're telling people, hey, if you like this video, just subscribe for more because I post it every single day or every single week. And so you're literally creating content, telling people to subscribe. And then the same way you promote it and pay for it to be like, register for my webinar, buy my hairbrush on sale. The same way you promote that, you're literally paying to promote a subscribe ad. And this time you're just telling people, subscribe to my audience or subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook or Instagram. And I post videos like this all the time, educational videos, review videos, funny videos, whatever your brand is.
And 2 ways that we love diving into that more is that literally every video that you do here, you can boost for just $1 a day. So like if you go to the ads library, you'll see that we have lots of our videos that are chopped up into little pieces for that exact purpose. You noticed at the top of this video, what did I say? I said, well, let me just bring it up again. And we say it often. Give me the words, remind me below this video, which is going to do exactly what Mark is saying. So I'm so glad that you're here talking about this.
Yes.
And there's so much, I'm excited to ask you a couple of questions about that we don't do, which I know people could learn so much from you. When we do this, it's increasing the engagement. So when we take this video and we turn it into an ad, even just for $1 a day, it's increasing the engagement. It's building retargeting audiences as well. So that when you're ready to do those ads that are saying, you know, hey, come to my webinar, come to my thing, buy my product, you have an audience that you've already connected with, built your personal brand with. It's so good. One thing that we don't do, so we obviously spend most of our time here on the Book of Faces. We do some things on YouTube as well and Instagram. And I was talking to one of our amazing clients this morning, or yesterday actually. She saw that we were doing this show. I'm going to give her a little shout out. Her name is Jenna Larson. We actually went to elementary school together. So she's from here as well, like you and I are. And she created this new tool called Group Track CRM that we are obsessed with. It's a full CRM for your Facebook, everything that you do on Facebook. It's amazing. And I was talking to her yesterday and she goes, oh my gosh, you're having Mark on the show. Like, that's so awesome. And I said, oh, like, do you know him? And she said, your program was the first program she ever bought, which she's been in our highest level coaching program for over a year now. And I didn't even know this. So I was like, wait, what? And she goes, yeah, back when I had, and this was such a great testimonial for you, by the way. She said how awesome the content was. And she told me that before she had any sort of business, she was listening to like Pandora or something. And she goes, he popped into like my YouTube or my Pandora. I had no idea who he was, but I knew that what he was doing was exactly what I needed to start figuring out how to, you know, get my business stuff in order. And I was like, oh, that's good. For whatever she was already listening to, you had an ad that popped up in there.
Of course we did.
I like it.
Shout out to Jenny Larson then.
Yes, shout out to Jenna. Yeah, so I mean, how many different platforms are you doing this on?
I mean, if you use the GDN network, Google Display Networks, you could be on an
Oh, that's true.
almost unlimited amount. So it's kind of hard to say if you're using GDN
Yeah,
networks,
thinking
which
like
we
the
do as well.
Audience
And
networks.
same, yeah, Facebook audience networks goes
Yeah.
across like every platform in the world,
Yeah.
basically. And that's how you could be playing. You could be playing Angry Birds or Pokemon Go, and all of a sudden my ad will pop up.
I had a friend who was tracking her like her nursing for her baby, and my face showed up in the middle of her nursing app. She like sent me a screenshot like, "Hey, there's Molly."
Yeah, you're like, I'm on everything. That's awesome.
So I get nervous about it sometimes with the audience network because I'm like, I don't know where I want to have my face show up, but I support breastfeeding, so that was good.
There you go.
There
yeah, I mean, you want to be omnipresent, which basically just means you want to be everywhere to the right person. You don't want to be a celebrity to the world, most likely, but you want to be everywhere to where your audience is. So if Jenna Larson is listening to a thing and my ad pops up and that got her, then it was right. I think my favorite platform right now is YouTube, if I had to pick one. But our media buyers are starting to ramp up some stuff on Facebook again. Facebook, I love Facebook. I love Instagram. But I think YouTube is a really good platform because the competition is lower. The competition on YouTube is a lot easier because most people, they don't have the camera confidence, as you talk about, to pop up on a YouTube ad. So, most YouTube ads suck, and they're usually from bigger companies that have a budget and they just throw ads up. And only occasionally will you see usually some terrible person come on and do some garbage advertisement with just the wrong hook, the wrong frame, bad lighting. And one of the things you can do is there's two things. One, you can click the video and you can scrape the ID and you can actually see the ad and see how many views it has and how long it's been running. Ooh. And then that'll tell you if it's got 1 million views or 500,000 views, then they've spent a lot of money to get it that many views. So the ad actually might be working, and maybe you want to take a couple notes and just see why is it working.
Maybe the garbage is actually a good thing. It could be. Who knows?
Sometimes, if you know your audience, sometimes like the worst video actually sometimes does well because the curiosity alone is like, it's like a car wreck. You just can't stop watching.
We have one that I did forever ago that it was like $1 opt-in for a webinar. Crazy. And it was, my Wi-Fi went out in the middle of it. It was like such a hot mess. It was like pixelated, but it really worked for the message that I was delivering. So
and that's the thing, right? Is sometimes, and that's why that's the number one rule for marketing is never stop testing. And that's where, you always want to test. You want to test the selfie video on your phone with bad audio and lighting, and you're moving and a little bit of wind hits the mic. And then you want to test the professional, like studio quality, 4K camera, a film crew, 3 different camera angles. You always want to test. But yeah, I mean, I think YouTube's an amazing platform that everybody here, if they're learning about camera confidence and how to, articulate and present themselves better, then they have to be on YouTube growing their channel. Biggest mistake I made was not focusing enough on my YouTube channel early on. We crush YouTube ads, but that's totally different than building a YouTube channel. Just like some internet marketers make millions of dollars running products and stuff on the internet, but they don't even have a social media profile. So there's 2 ways to play the internet. One is run ads and sell products. The other is build a personal brand and an audience. I think you should do both. Most people usually do one. And I find that when you do both, you become literally like, you can't not make however much money you want,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So much goodness. Okay. We have about 13 minutes left. So I want to
rapid fire questions.
So and just so you know, also at the very end of this video, for like the last 5 minutes, we're going to do what we call a speedy recap. So at that point, we're going to up the nugget giveaway. Everybody's going to share all their nuggets real fast during the speedy recap. And we actually crop that and we use it to build our YouTube channel. So that speedy recap becomes a very specific thing that we repurpose. So I've got notes here. When we get to that, I'm just going to say like, okay, give us a sentence about this. And I'll say the words and then you reply with the sentence explaining it. So that's coming up in about 10 minutes. Before we get there, I have just two more questions. One is there anything else that you want to make sure you share here so that we really understand all the magic that you have to share with us. I will also drop a little secret that Mark and I may have something happening next week that you may want to know about. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be awesome. If you want to know, say tell me below this video and we'll reach out to you. And two, I want to know what you think about personal branding in Clubhouse.
Okay, I'll start there.
Okay.
Personal branding with Clubhouse, I think there's a lot of potential. I think that when new platforms come out, like TikTok did originally, the algorithm is extremely generous. It will give us way more engagement. You have a high probability of going viral. Not on Clubhouse. Clubhouse isn't going to have that happen, but TikTok had the viral aspect. At least Clubhouse doesn't have any integration for viral content yet. There's nothing like that yet. Especially if there's nothing recorded. So it's hard for something to go viral on Clubhouse currently. TikTok, my wife had a video go viral and got 1.2 million views in like 2 days. 1.2 million views. And it was totally not the video we thought was going to go viral. But TikTok literally is a platform where you try to go viral. Like that's literally like the definition of you. Everybody every day comes out with a new trendy video and a new song, and you try to catch the wave and see if yours can go viral. So Clubhouse is totally different, but Clubhouse has never been easier to join a room. Here's the hardest part for a normal person who doesn't yet have their personal brand established.
Oh my gosh, that's the question that Veronica just said, but are normal people going to Clubhouse? So that's perfect.
I can hear the whispers. I've just done this too much where I literally have conditioned my brain to hear what the audience is saying, even if there's no audience that I can see.
Right.
So for a normal person who doesn't have a personal brand yet, and to make a comparison, I'm a normal person too, but I've built my personal brand to have the perception and the reputation that almost, and I did it actually on an interview recently where I joined a Clubhouse room and within 5 seconds I was invited as a speaker moderator, and the room had 2,000 people in it. So that's my point, is there's 2,000 people in a room live. Within 5 seconds of me joining the room, they invited me on stage as a speaker and made me a moderator. And I could have just been like, hey, what's up, every 2,000 people? And just sitting there, you get like a couple hundred followers. And then if you contribute, you're going to get like half of the room to follow you. Now, I went pretty hard for the first like 48 hours. And then my wife was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm walking around with Clubhouse on like quiet.
My iPad was like,
I'm like, or I got like one ear. I'm sitting on the couch with my wife, but I have like this ear pod in. So it's like this.
Exactly what I was doing.
And so she was like, come on, you're still listening to Clubhouse. And so I was like, you're right. This is like starting to affect my relationship. So,
and my health, because I'm not sleeping. Yeah.
So I've dialed back my Clubhouse intake. But I see people on there that are obsessed. They're on there nonstop. So real quick, I think Clubhouse has a lot of potential. I think that you need to create. Here's the thing: if you're a normal person, I think you need to create your own pod, your own club room. And so, like, a mutual friend of ours, Steve Olsher, has like the podcast club. I'm gonna make like the personal branding club, and then you can get like
we applied to the live video club. I bought livevideoclub.com.
Exactly. There you go.
Build that perception.
There you go. And create the container. So that's what you want to remember is big people. They usually want to just, like Grant Cardone, he'll just join your Clubhouse room and he'll just start talking. And so you want to create the room, come up with a catchy title on the top, a catchy title. And so three big things. One, make your own club pod. So you got your own little room, and curate content and interview people. Number two is you want to be in the audience of really big rooms, and you want to make sure that you can raise your hand and hopefully get invited on stage. When you get invited on stage, it's only a matter of time. When you get invited on stage, you want to make sure that you use that 30-second elevator pitch, that 60 seconds, because they usually go, if they're good moderators, they go, Molly, you've got 30 seconds and start it with, my question is.
Exactly.
And so you'll say, my name is Mark, and my question is, somebody like me who, and I quickly get my bio in. My question is, somebody like me who, and I quickly get my bio in, my elevator pitch, my perfect little like 10-second pitch is, Boom. And then, so you want to make sure that you get it in really fast. So my name is Mark, and my question is,
people get annoyed and they're going to send you off the stage.
Exactly. So you want to get, and you don't want to be the annoying person. You want people to sit back and go, like this one 16-year-old kid came on and said, my name is Jeremy or whatever. He's like, and my question is that I'm 16 years old and blah, blah, blah. And he asked his question and everybody was like shocked. And he got like a ton of connections and help. So you want to make sure you're prepared. You're not nervous. You got your confidence ready, optimize your bio, and make sure that you come in hot with like, I've got my perfect little elevator pitch and my question, and make sure it's a really good question, because I who've done 1,700 interviews, I'm very keen, and I do coaching for 7 years. And, you know, I'm very keen on questions. If somebody says, Mark, is Facebook advertising good? I'm like, that's the dumbest question you could ask. Another example, Mark, what should my budget be for advertising? Another question you'd think at the surface sounds like a good question.
But there's so much information you need to know in order to actually answer that.
Oh my God.
That actually reminds me of, I have a question that I can't believe I didn't ask earlier. So I need to squish one more question in because I really need an answer to this.
Okay.
So, and I think you may actually be the person who can help me because no one has been able to help me.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I have we take all of these videos and we turn them into GIFs at the end of every show. There's a GIF of me that we created about a year ago going like this. That does not work.
Okay.
They're just taken from random moments in our videos. Somehow on Christmas Eve, that GIF, which we optimized for SEO, went viral. So it's been shared over 60,000 times. I can't even tell you how many actual views it's had because it was shared 60,000 times. It's my face going, that does not work. Now, this was through Tenor, not Giphy. I do have a branded Giphy account as well, but this one was through Tenor. It has my name, the prepared performer, like of where it came from. But do you have any tips as to how we can optimize and actually monetize a viral GIF like that?
So I'd post it on your Facebook page. I'd then create an audience that would most likely be suitable to retarget from. I'd promote it as a post, and then I'd have above, I'd say, win $500 cash by commenting the best thing below that does not work. And and then everybody would comment below the funniest thing that does not work. Like I can already come up with a bunch of
totally, which
vulgar,
I could do marketing ideas that do not work. So then it's like actually speaking to what we teach.
Yeah. So best comment wins $500 cash on this date, 7 days from now. And you'd say, or let it go evergreen and run forever. And say, marketing ideas that do not work. And then the GIF would be you going, that does not work. And then everybody comments below for a chance to win. And then you could set up a chat bot that could message them, or you could build a retargeting audience. Boom. There you go.
Boom. I love it. Okay. In that, would you mention the fact that the GIF had gone viral, or just use it as something that you know has already had viral potential?
Telling me it's gone viral is not going to make a difference. Just because I'm going to want to watch that. And I'm going to want to go through and read the comments, and then I'm going to want to reply back. So it already creates the viral aspect. Win $500.
This is why y'all should listen to Mark, because every person that I've asked about this, even Grant Cardone, who was in our room, and I asked him this question, he said to monetize it by creating another product that somehow uses the option for me to teach people how to make GIFs, which I already have. You retarget
everybody and go in and you reply to every single comment and you say, here's my 7 best tips for marketing that does work. And then you use it as a funnel.
I was like, I don't want to teach people how to do this unless I actually know that I can monetize it. But there you go. Okay.
So everybody comments, you reply and send them the lead magnet. Then you have a retargeting audience for the hundreds of thousands of people that didn't comment. And then you retarget them. First 3 seconds of the ad is the GIF. And then you come on camera and say, remember you saw my GIF and engage with it? Yeah. Well, let me tell you 7 marketing tips that do work. And then you use that to funnel them in.
Dude, I can't wait to be such an awesome case study for you. This was so amazing.
And that was within 5 seconds. Let's go. Keep the questions coming.
So good. Okay. I want to be respectful of your time. So we only have 3 minutes left. So we have, do you want to, I just want to make sure if there's anything else you want to add. I know we only have 3 minutes left.
Yeah, I'll go fast. There's so much that I want to share. And so there's so many fun things that we could talk about. So one of the things that I think would be really powerful for your audience is you're doing a great job of this right now, which is interviewing me and interviewing other experts that I know you share. So I want to do this. This works on literally any platform. Here's what you do. Okay. Come up with some type of a show. You should come up with a fun name if possible. The name is not going to matter as much as the execution. here's what you do. Come up with a list of dream 100 guests that you'd like to interview, starting with like, guests you probably can get, and then guests that are like really far out of reach. And go through the list of easier to harder. And by the time you get to the harder ones, you'll probably be able to get all of them as well. So come up with your dream 100 guests, then come up with, this is the formula. I'm going to go through it really fast.
Okay.
Figure out which platform is that celebrity or thought leader. And here's the criteria for the guests, by the way. Who already built your following? So not all of, but most of the people on your Dream 100 that you're going to interview, they should already have a large audience that you can target with what I'm about to tell you, which is your interview. So who already built your following? Make the list of 100 people, and it might be hard. You have to do some research, and the research alone is going to be good.
Dude, the Dream 100 is a thing that so many people don't do, and I swear it like changes everything. So do that. Just telling
Dream 100 partners, everything, clients. Yeah. But here we go. Dream 100 interviews. Who has your following? Most of them should be on that list. Then you go to their social media, find their largest platform where they get the most engagement. So Gary Vaynerchuk gets 1 million views on every Instagram video. Perfect. And that's his largest platform. So that's your formula to know how many views to guarantee them on the interview. So if Gary gets 1 million views, then offering him on his largest platform, Gary gets 1 million views. To guarantee you'll get a yes from him, you probably want to double it. So he's like, holy shit, you offered me 2 million views? I don't even get that. So find their largest platform, find their average engagement, double it by 2 or 3, reach out to Gary's team on social media, on email, which is where the signature comes in, and all these other places you can reach out and say, let me know when Gary Vaynerchuk would, or Gabby Bernstein, or Lisa Nichols, or Molly Mahoney, or Mark Lack, Renee Brown, whoever, let me know when they would benefit from getting 2 million views on an interview sometime this calendar year. Because I'm not desperate. I don't care when it happens. So let me know when you would benefit from 2 million views of, and then say the audience, of women entrepreneurs, of small businesses, on an interview talking about your book, because I've done my research on your book coming out. Let me know when you'd like to do an interview with 2 million views. They'll reply back so fast that they'll say, maybe they'll have some follow-up questions. And here's the good news. How are you going to get the 2 million views? You don't even have a show.
Can I get?
I'd love for you to.
Are you going to buy it?
Boom. You're going to buy it. Remember, buy it, borrow it, create it. And so you're going to buy it. So just like you can pay YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, you can pay them to promote your hairbrush or your coaching program or your whatever. You can pay them to get, and you just keep paying until you hit 2 million views. And by the way, it's going to cost about $4,000 to $15,000. So to get 2 million views, and most of the people you interview won't require 2 million views. They'll only need maybe 100,000. So now you're looking at like $300. And so you just pay until you get the views. There's obvious ratios. 100,000 views could be $300, could be $200, could be $1,000. You have to be prepared for the top. And now they're going to say, holy shit, you're going to give me 2 million views. Let's go. And you can even guarantee it within a time frame. So now
that is an awesome thing, because I was thinking some people may be nervous about like, well, what if we don't have 2 million viewers
all the money
on
in
it?
the time frame.
Like, we'll do it within this amount of time.
Facebook will take all your money and they'll show it to 2 million people.
Yep.
And so you just make sure your audience size is large enough to show it to 2 million people, or else it'll be a lot of frequency repeats.
Right.
A lot of people will see the same ad again and again, or the same interview again and again. So you have a Dream 100. The only reason they're not already going to do an interview with you is because you don't have a big enough value proposition of attention and eyeballs, and you don't have the timing right. You have to make sure that the eyeballs and the attention and the timing all line up. So 2 million views is more than Gary ever gets anyways. And so it has to be a big number for him. And then the timing is probably when he has his next book coming out or something. Put those two together. It's almost a formula always for a yes. Then how do you get 2 million views? You buy it. Now here's the next kicker. We're going to go up to high school now. By the way, we're still in elementary school.
I just want to say, we're not doing the speedy recap. We're doing this instead. And I'm going to put this in our speedy recap. So bring your nuggets. Give me more nuggets, because this is so good. And all of you can do this. Give us nuggets.
Everybody can do this.
Everybody can do this.
And you start with people that you can get a yes from that maybe only need 50,000 views.
From 100 views. So that is, you can start right there and spend $10.
Exactly. And it's the same thing as the $1 a day strategy you're teaching that we obviously teach because we're both experts at this stuff. This is just a This is just a derivative. This is a different way of using it.
So good.
And so now you can pre-guarantee celebrities, thought leaders, and experts a number of views at the right time when they'll benefit most. All you have to do is pay for it. And then you can target that interview to all your Dream 100 so that all the audiences that they already built now see you with their favorite celebrity. And you're borrowing their credibility to instantly have me scroll on social media and not go, who's this person, but go, oh my gosh, it's Renee Brown, it's Gabby Bernstein. And then say, who the heck is interviewing them? And now you're going to borrow their credibility. And so your cost per engagement, everything is going to drop. You're going to get so much engagement and views, cheaper and more than you've ever had. And you're going to get millions of people to see you with celebrities targeting their followers who are supposed to be yours. So you're ethically borrowing their credibility and audience to become yours. Now you might say, but Mark, I don't want to spend or don't have the money to spend $5,000, $10,000 to get that many views. Here's where we go up to high school. And we're going to cut it before we get to college and PhD level stuff. So now we're just going
to go to college and PhD. Just say, tell me below, and I'll send you more information about something that Mark and I are doing.
And so now we're going to go up a level. Now you're going to say, well, who already built my following? But let's take it up another level and ask a better question. What companies would want to pay to be a sponsor on the interview for that audience of 1 million views? And now I reach out to all these sponsors and say, I'm interviewing Renee Brown and Gabby Bernstein and John Asseroff and Jack Canfield and Bob Proctor and Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone and Ty Lopez and all these people that may be on my Dream 100. Would you like to be a sponsor and get 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million small business owners and entrepreneurs to see your exclusive sponsor inside of these episodes? And now
then you can bring them in like this. What? They can be here as the sponsor, and the link that you're sending can go straight into the. So you now have the link to get, all of this magic.
Exactly. And so that's it. And so now you get a sponsor, and most sponsors, by the way, pay $20 to $40 CPMs for radio and television, which is $20 to $40 for 1,000 eyeballs. Social media is $1 to $2. So you're talking about a 2,000% discount on radio and TV ads for social media. So keep this in mind. Most companies, if you say, I'll get you 1 million of your target audience potential, 1 million of them will see an interview with me and this celebrity, and your company will drop in as the sponsor, and we'll do it right in the middle, and we'll do it right at the end, 2 different times. They'll be like, here's 10 or 20 grand. How do I know? I've made millions of dollars doing this from sponsors, and I've made millions of dollars doing this from building up the audience that I retarget from the celebrity's audience that's supposed to be my audience, and then sell them my products. So if you don't want to pay for the views, go and get a sponsor. The sponsor will happily pay just for the views. They don't care about monetizing it or anything. There could be a promo code. Hey, use code Molly for 20% off your Zoom
Or Be Live. Use the word Molly for 30% off Be Live.
There you go. Now. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like, there it is. Yeah. So it's like in the middle of the interview, it's like, we'll be right back after a quick message from our sponsor. And then it plays a little commercial they send you, or they tell you that they want you to be the person that says, all right, quick message from our sponsor. This is Mark Lack, and I want to tell you, go use promo code Molly for 30% off your Be Live membership. And so that's it. And Be Live pays you, but they're paying you because your audience is 1 million people on the episode. And so now you have complete arbitrage. The celebrity said yes because of the 2 million views or 500,000 views at the right time. How do you guarantee the views? You buy them. And if you don't want to use your own money, you go get a sponsor and say, I already got Gary Vaynerchuk to say yes to a 2 million person interview with small businesses. Would you pay $25,000 to be the exclusive only sponsor 3 times throughout the whole episode for 1 hour? By the way, it's happening in the next 14 days. They wire you the money. You use all the money. You pay for the views. Any money left over is money in your pocket. And that's just pure profit. And that'll maybe pay for your video.
You're targeting audiences, and you're bringing in, like, if you're using the call to action stuff like we do, whatever, if you're using a CTA that's super easy, like, just give us the word remind me. It doesn't feel like this big ad. It's not a big thing, but you're building a community of people that you can talk to who want to throw a credit card at your face.
Okay, so that was just one little quick strategy I had to share.
In high school. You're not even to college yet.
That was like freshman level stuff. I don't even know what the other sophomore, junior. It's been a while. But yeah, so that would be that was just one thing I had to make sure that I got off my chest here and shared with people. All right.
I love it so much. This is so good. So this is all a part of our Camera Confidence Live, which you can see every single week here. And I'm going to say we're not actually every single week this year. We're kind of mixing it up a little bit. So you want to make sure that you get into our email, messenger, SMS notification list because I've decided this year we're going to be leveraging things a little bit after doing this show live for 4 years every single week. We're kind of mixing it up and putting more towards our clients. And we're going to be here with amazing people like Mark Lack to actually blow your mind. So the nuggets are flying. We have one more thing we need to do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I am going to scroll through these nuggets because there are so many of them. And you just tell me when to stop, and that's how we're going to pick the winner. We're giving away a selfie light.
I'm ready.
That they can put on their computer or their camera, whatever, or their phone.
Love it.
Light up their face. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm scrolling.
All right. Now.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't remember if you've ever won before, but Daniela, that's not a nugget. You're still going to win. Shoot, that's not a nugget though. Daniela, I'm going to bring your question up. She still says, love it. Someone like me. Daniela, you are the winner. I'm going to read your question also. Ooh, and I'll come back to that one because it's a deeper question about Clubhouse. We'll come back and answer that. Daniela, you're the winner. So email us at molly@thepreparedperformer.com because I'm using the little nugget that Mark shared earlier about having a branded email address. Email us at molly@thepreparedperformer.com where we can get your address and send you a selfie light. So good. Dude, Mark, I'm so excited about the thing that we have coming up.
I am too. I am too. That's why I had to make sure I brought some fire here at the end for people to know.
Fire. So much fire. Okay. This has been awesome. We are going to wrap this up now. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful that you took the time to be here with us. Make sure you give us the word remind me, all one word below this video. That way we can send you the show notes. I've been taking notes here. We have a team member named Kate who's amazing, who's going to put together full notes. They will be available inside our Facebook group. But you got to give us the word remind me in order to get that link. Oh my goodness gracious. This has been so awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And make sure you keep an eye out because we have something happening soon. So awesome.
It's good.
Any final last word before we hit the end button?
Yeah, I think now is the most important time ever for people to be leveraging social media and growing their personal brand. And, the things that Molly's teaching you are obviously life-changing. And hopefully you guys got some value from this interview. And I don't know when we'll be sharing with them what we're cooking up behind the scenes. But if you liked this little interview that we did here, then you're going to love the other thing that we have coming up as well. And it's also free. It's just a ton of free, amazing value for you guys because we love your community here. So.
So good. So we are so lucky. I'm so grateful to Ryan and Elliot for connecting us. This is such an awesome way for you watching this video to amplify what you're doing with your videos, to amplify what you're doing on social media. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. I hope you'll join us in the future. If you're watching this, Mark and I have something really cool planned for you coming up soon that is free. So I can't wait to share it with you. So make sure you pay attention and we'll be back soon. Oh my gosh. Thanks so much. As always, it's my absolute pleasure to help you to unlock your inner awesome and elevate it with the magic of live video and really nailing down your personal brand. We'll see you soon.